The Ig Nobel Prize is possibly the greatest thing to ever happen to the scientific community. Not the Nobel Prize, mind you, the Ig Nobel Prize. But what is this award exactly, and what makes it so great? Well, before I can answer that, I have to tell you a little story. A few decades ago, a team of scientists discovered that herrings might communicate by farting. Wait, sorry? A few decades ago, a team of scientists discovered that herrings might communicate by farting. This might seem like a joke, but I assure you, this discovery had some major consequences. See, in 1981, a Soviet submarine ran aground on the coast of Sweden. To make matters worse, it was very close to a military base, and evidence showed that the sub may have been armed with nuclear weapons. Even though the Soviets insisted upon this being a navigational issue, the incident sent the Swedish government into a paranoid frenzy. Convinced that Russian submersibles might still be operating in Swedish waters, they conducted a series of submarine hunts over the following decades. Now, what does this have to do with our fishy friends passing gas, you may ask? Well, let me tell you. The Swedes started recording peculiar sounds that they picked up in the ocean with the hopes of detecting activity from any nearby submarines. One such recording contained the sound of air bubbles being released underwater, which is said to be reminiscent of bacon frying in a pan. Now, to Sweden's credit, this kind of sound is more or less what you would expect to hear from a submarine operating in the water. But, being the incredible detective that I'm sure you are, you can probably guess where this is going. A team of scientists from various institutions were called in to analyze these sounds on behalf of the Swedish government. They discovered that these sounds did not perfectly match the sound of a propeller from a submarine or any other watercraft. But after conducting a series of experiments, they did learn two interesting things. Firstly, that herrings have the capability to release air bubbles that are trapped in their swim bladders, and secondly, that the sound of these bubbles popping was in fact a perfect match to the recordings. The scientists who made this discovery would receive the Ig Nobel Prize for Biology in 2004. This was groundbreaking news, firstly because it meant that Sweden could remove their paranoia and replace it with a healthy dose of shame and embarrassment, and secondly because it is probably one of the most bizarre scientific discoveries in recent history. What I think is even more crazy than that is that up until about a month ago, I had never even heard of this insane story, and it would have continued that way if it wasn't for a little something called the Ig Nobel Prize. The Ig Nobel Prize is a parody of the Nobel Prize. These awards are organized by the magazine Annals of Improbable Research and are handed out each year for achievements that quote-unquote make people laugh, then make them think. The event has happened every year since its origins in 1991 and was created with the goal of celebrating achievements that might otherwise be overlooked for being too absurd, for lack of a better word. Now, it is true that some of these awards are given out purely as a joke. My favorite example of this is the 1992 award for nutrition that was given to the utilizers of Spam for 54 years of undiscriminating digestion. There is also the 2009 award for literature, which was given to the Irish police for writing 50 traffic tickets to a Polish individual named Prawo jazdy, which is funny because this man never existed and prawo jazdy is the Polish term for driving license. Jokes aside, I think that there is a genuine service being offered here, and I say that for a number of reasons. The first reason is that the Ig Nobel Prize encourages scientists to release information that they might not have released otherwise. One of the biggest problems with modern science is all of the information that doesn't get published. Sometimes scientists will simply not release their work if their hypothesis is proven wrong, or if they don't see the results that they were hoping for. This is known as the file drawer problem. The reason why this is such a serious issue is because it halts progress, as it causes the same experiments to be done over and over again by different people, with each following team not realizing that the information they are about to yield has already been discovered by the previous attempters when they failed. But the Ig Nobel Prize gives an opportunity for these kinds of studies to shine. Let me tell you another story. In 2013, a group of researchers conducted a study on the standing behavior of cows. They did this by attaching sensors to the legs of a variety of different kinds of beef and dairy cows and recording the results. The scientists started out this study with two hypotheses. One, the likelihood that a cow will stand up increases with the time they spend lying down. And two, the likelihood that a cow will lie down increases with the time that they spend standing up. The results were truly interesting. While the first hypothesis was proven correct, the second one was not. Simply put, a cow that has been lying down for 4 hours is more likely to stand up in the next 15 minutes than a cow that has been lying down for the past 1 hour. However, a cow that has been standing for the past 4 hours isn't any more likely to lie down in the next 15 minutes than a cow that has been standing for the past 1 hour. For this discovery, the team was awarded the Ig Nobel Prize for probability, even though their hypothesis was proven incorrect. Now, let's be honest, winning a Parody award might not be the most motivating reason to release your research, but it's better than no reason at all. At the very least, this provides a way for people to hear of the hard work that you and your team have been doing. Another reason why I love the Ig Nobel Prize so much is because it holds a collection of some of the most genuinely interesting facts I've ever heard. Let me give you a few rapid-fire examples. The 1995 award for psychology was given to a team from a Japanese university who discovered that pigeons can be trained to discriminate between paintings from Picasso and Monet. The 2004 award for economics was given to none other than the Vatican for, and this is true, outsourcing prayer requests to India. In 2015, the award for chemistry was given to a team that discovered a way to partially unboil an egg. And possibly my favorite out of all of them, the 2020 award for peace was given to the governments of India and Pakistan for having their diplomats ring each other's doorbells in late hours of the night and then run away before the door is answered. Just as a side note, I looked into this story, and while both the Indian and Pakistani governments have accused the other side of ding-dong ditching, it's difficult to verify whether or not these allegations are true. Either way, I suppose it's better than working out your differences through war. The third reason why I love the Ig Nobel Prize so much is because it gives praise to some truly impressive feats that people probably wouldn't have cared about otherwise. Here are some more interesting examples. The 1999 award for biology was given to Dr. Paul Boslin for breeding a spiceless jalapeno pepper. I don't really understand the point of that, but it's cool. In the year 2000, the award for computer science was given to Chris Newswonder for developing a software called PawSense, an application that detects when your cat is walking across your keyboard. And last but not least, the 2010 award for physics was given to a team from a New Zealand university for proving that people are less likely to slip on an icy footpath if they wear socks outside of their shoes. It doesn't really get that cold where I live, but I imagine this information is useful to someone watching. Looking back at everything we have discussed, there is one more service that the Ig Nobel Prize offers that I have yet to mention. It reminds us that science can be fun. Even at the most prestigious levels of academia, we can still make wondrous discoveries and even more wonderful stories. I feel like we lose sight of that sometimes. But remember, there's a whole world of fun at our fingertips, just waiting to be explored. So from outrageous experiments to incorrect hypotheses, of standing cows to farting fishies, whether tales told be profound or minute, an outsourced prayer or an unspicy fruit, though discovery continues for time so indefinite, the drudgery of discovery shall not be a requisite, for all time a reminder that binds those who fall, the Ig Nobel Prize shall stand through it all. Like and subscribe.